Hey guys, welcome back. Picking up from where I left off at the last game, we jumped right in at 814 ELO. This was a pretty awkward game for me. I saw something right off the bat that I didn't expect. If you guys can tell me where I went wrong or what I should have done, I would have loved to hear it. But that's why we're doing this. We're starting from scratch, we're learning, we're growing, we're making mistakes, and hopefully we don't make the same mistakes going forward. So with that, let's get into it. Okay, let's jump into the game. First off, I don't usually play as black, and I think that's something that I'm going to have to get used to. I don't know if it's something about the orientation of the board or, the queen being on the other side. I don't know what it is, but it just feels uncomfortable, and as I continue to develop, I'm going to have to learn to play as black and play well as black, and also reacting to what my opponent is doing. But let's get into this gameplay here. I won't give away anything. Alright, so he starts off with a queen pawn opening, and this is also something I don't see very often. So right off the bat, I was feeling a little uncomfortable. I was playing against a couple bots right beforehand, and I was practicing the queen's gambit, declined, getting the bishop out, getting the knight out on the queen side, and trying to develop into the center of the board, and I thought I was doing a pretty good job. So I was ready for a queen's gambit here and have his c-pawn come out. That's not what happened. So right off the bat, I was feeling a little confused and a little uncomfortable. Didn't really know how to react. If he moved over to, was that f5, I had that covered. But if he moved towards the queen side, I also had that covered. But again, I didn't really know what the strategy was here, and this is definitely going to have to be something I practice and I review going forward. So I was definitely feeling uncomfortable. I tried to start developing towards the center, and this is clearly an opening that he has practiced a couple times because he develops his pieces out pretty quick. And I was kind of on my back foot, so I didn't like the bishop being so close in here, so I tried to kick that bishop out. He takes, I take, and now I've got a double stack right in my home base there. So right off the bat, not a great start. So I moved pawn up to try to just get rid of that double stack and try to take a little bit more control of the center. I'm feeling pretty good right now, kinda. I have that pawn protected by my bishop, but I still don't really have a good strategy, and I already have pawns doubled up. So I need to develop here quickly because he already has two pieces developed. So what do? I get more pawns out into the center. So I probably should have brought out a knight or a bishop or my queen or done something, but I felt if I had a strong front line, maybe I could try to take back a little bit of the control. So I'll let it play here a little bit more. Again, trying to take control of that center a little bit, put some pressure on. I castle. I probably don't need to. And if we just kind of take a look at a still frame of this board, he's got his knight into the center. I've got a bishop, but again, I really don't have too much more than that. So instead of castling, I probably should have worked to develop more queenside pieces. All right, we'll let this play a little bit more. And now that knight is in my base, and I really can't kick him out, and I want to save my rook. I don't want to have a knight for rook trade. So he continues to develop, and again, I go back to that two stack of pawns. Not great. He's in my base. I don't have any. I have 5 pieces right next to each other, all not developed, and it's not looking good for me right now. I do have that pawn protected on f5, but it's not looking good. So I saw that his rook was moved over, and if he had moved his rook, discovered check, I would have been in check, and I would have had to do this move anyway. So I was trying to get ahead of it a little bit. I moved my rook over, so if he decides to move his knight, I can try to break that pressure on the f-file a little bit, or the g-file, but his rook would have just come over again, and that pressure still would have been there. So I was trying to kick his knight out a little bit, but I was feeling a little lost. What I should have done here was I should have taken that bishop with my bishop, because now he's got a lot of pressure on this left side of the board, and I really don't have a lot of defenses because I haven't developed that right side of the board. So playing a little bit more, I start moving pieces over to the right side. I knew I wanted to get some development. My thought was, if he takes my knight with his knight, I could go ahead and take his queen because his queen is defending his bishop right now, and that's putting some pressure on my base. And I can also move towards that bishop with my bishop. So I was just trying to make something happen and get some pieces on the board here. So he takes, I take. I don't know if that was the right move or not, but it wasn't going well for me right now. So he doesn't take my queen. I was offering him a queen trade. Smart on his part. I try to dodge the check. His his rook comes over, and I'm in trouble now. I'm in absolute trouble. He's got a queen looking at me. He's got a rook looking at me. The knight, the bishop. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I never developed that right side, and that's something I'm gonna have to learn going forward. So I try to prolong the inevitable a little bit. I get put into check, try to dodge the check, and he comes over, and it's checkmate. So I was uncomfortable right from the start. I'm definitely going to have to review the queen pawn opening is black and come up with a strategy that I want to play with that. Yeah, I just felt really awkward kind of the whole game. And hopefully I can learn from this going forward to continue the climb. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll see what we can do in the next one. Progress, not perfection. Thanks.